Okay, good afternoon, my dear students. So, welcome to the data structures online classes. So, from this class onwards, I'm going to start my syllabus. So, all of you pay close attention. Let's get discuss with the syllabus first. So, this is the syllabus. I'm going to share you the syllabus. So, data structures, the unit one, data structures. In that data structures, will cover the introduction part and the definition part and the classification of data structure. Okay, so these topics I'm going to cover you. Right. Okay, can anyone confirm me? Is my screen is my board is visible to all of you? You can use chat box. Right, thank you. Introduction to data structures. Right. So this is our base topic. Right. Okay, actually, what is the definition of data structure? What is the definition of data structure? Already, you can break the data structure into two parts. First one is data, and second one is structure. Right? Data structures consists of two parts. First one is data. So, what is data? Collection of information. Collection of information is called data. So nowadays we are talking about data. Everywhere we are talking about data in the digital world. So even it is a mobile data or some reports regarding the reports, we are expecting data. So today's absentees list is the data. CSE class is the data. Those who completed lab cycles is one sort of data. Everywhere, not only in the college, not only in the job. Consider it as a banking system or whatever it is. The society is talking about data everywhere. So collection of information, whatever the information is secondary, collection of information is called data. So structure means already, as you know, we can arrange the data in a form, particular form, right? That is called the data structure, data. So what is the definition of data structure? Definition of data structure is simple definition. I think two or three definitions I'll tell you for this data structure. So any definition you can follow. So technical definition and the general definition also I'll tell you. So arrange the data in specific format is called data structure. Okay. So arrange the data in specific format is called data structure. So first of all, why we study data structure? Why we study data structure? Why we study data structure, sir? What is the necessity of studying data structure? As a CSS students, why we study all this data structure concept? I talk about why we study data structure concept, the world is running after data at present. So, for example, artificial intelligence is growing on, big data. So already you may learn all these words: artificial intelligence, big data, machine learning. All these are the current trends of computer science. These all are maintained by using the data only. So if you want to access the data in a particular order, in an efficient manner, we need to store our data in a proper way. Whatever the program you may written, but that needs first of all a specific data structure. If you have the specific data structure, then only you may know how the program is working properly. The program is different, C, C++ or Java, Python, that is different. But you should know the operation of data structure. With the help of data structure, the help of program, we will apply the concept of the data structures. So why we study data structure means we need to access our data in efficient manner. We need to retrieve our data in efficient manner. That is why we need to study the data structure. So what data structure will tell us? It will tell the structure of the data. That means arranging the data in a specific format is called data structure. So that is why we need to study the data structure. So otherwise, in another definition, we can tell that data structure is a way. Data structure is a way in which data is stored, on a computer. Data structure is a way in which data is stored on a computer. This is also another definition of data structure. So another definition also I'm trying to tell you. It is the organization of data needed to store needed to solve problems is called data structure. This is also one of the definition, right? So data structure definition is it is a way in which data is stored in a computer. That is also correct. Otherwise, arrange the data in specific format is called data structure. In technical definition, I'm trying to tell you a data structure is a data organization management and storage format that enables efficient access and modification. This is also another definition for data structure. So totally, I told you 3 definitions. This is one of the definition, and this is the second definition. This is third definition, This is fourth definition. Four definitions I have covered. So any definition you can follow. Basically, the simple definition is arranging the data in specific format is called data structure. So otherwise, data structure is a data organization, management, and storage format that enables efficient access and modification. So here we are organizing the data and managing our data into our storage space, that is our memory, in particular format. That format will enable efficient access, that means efficient retrieval, download, and apply some operations and modifications. Modifications means editing, updating, and deleting everything. So without data structure, we can't store our data in efficient manner. Let me tell you these examples, and I'll tell you the different application areas of data structures also. So if you don't have data structure, what will happen? Let me explain. For example, if you are using dictionaries nowadays, you are using some of them, at least some of them are using dictionaries. So for example, if I want to search a word structure or data, for example, I want to search a word data from the dictionary. So what is the spelling of data? DATA. So directly you can open the dictionary, you can type, you can in the search box you can type D, followed by the D. After A, it will display the word data. So before, already the dictionary data is placed in an efficient manner in alphabetical order. In alphabetical order, then only easily you can retrieve the definitions. Not only in the area of dictionary, for example, if you consider any Excel sheet, so in that Excel sheet having different types of columns and rows and columns. So in that rows and columns area, if you want to retrieve anything, simply you can go to the search bar and you can directly retrieve the data. So how it is possible? Nowadays, Google, Facebook, Instagram, all these are maintaining different types of data. So Google is, whatever you may search on the Google is maintaining a record on behalf of everyone. Suppose in Google, you may type like this, you may search like this. For example, Sierra COE ENGG College or Sierra COE. You may type these words, automatically Google will correct the spelling. How it is possible? Google is automatically giving the result. Even though if you type the wrong message, automatically Google is correcting the sentences. How it is possible? With the help of data structure only. Because already the data is frozen. Data is placed in an efficient manner. That is why only we need data structures. If you consider Google as the top companies, all those are following the data structures. There are different types of data structures we are available in computer science. With the help of this data structure only, we can use a particular programming language, whether it is C# or Python or whatever it is, the language may different. With the help of data structure only, we can utilize the programming language. That is the scenario here. So if I talk more about the application areas of current trends, now we can observe latitude and longitude. You know, the latitude and longitude. Google Maps, latitude and longitude. So this is also one type of data structure, one of the application area. If you know the latitude and longitude, directly you can point out one location. So maps also following the data structures. These are the applications of data structures. At the same time, Google, Facebook, all the top companies are following data structures. So Google and these all top companies are using the big data, big data and artificial intelligence. All these techniques they are using to store our data in an efficient manner. So how all they are maintaining with the help of data structures only. So that is why data structure is the fundamental thing for storing the data in computer system. Nowadays, data structure is mingled with the society. It is linked up. So everywhere it is using. This is the basic thing. We should remember this. So up to the top level, data structure is using. So how data is managed today? Everywhere we are talking about data. So big data, mm, with the help of Pig and Hive tools, we can implement the big data techniques. So big data is a huge concept. So now I don't want to talk about this. So there are different types of artificial intelligence techniques also there. Those are machine learning and different concepts available. So with the help of this, we are maintaining our data in a safe manner. So it will not provide any security, just it will provide the way. Already I told you the definition here. Already I told you the definition. Data structure is a way in which data is stored on a computer. In which data is stored on a computer. Okay. This is how the clear cut definition of the data structure. Are you clear about the definition of data structure? Okay. Now, how is my voice? Is it okay now? My voice is okay now? Okay, okay. So, is this definition is clear to all of you? The definition of data structure. So, it is the way in which data is stored on a computer. So, all of you better use your earphones. Some of them are not audible. So, those who are not listening my voice, you better use headphones, earphones, so that you can clearly hear my voice. Okay. So otherwise you can increase the volume. Better use headphones. So already I'm trying my level best here. So almost I'm shouting here. So if you are facing any problem, maybe problem from your side, use headset. Always prefer headset so that you can clearly listen my lectures. Okay, this is the standard definition of data structures. So data structure is a way in which data is stored on a computer. Okay, so the organization of data needed to solve problems by using these. Okay, these are the different types of application areas of data structures. All these are the application areas of data structures. Uh, just offline examples also I am going to tell you. So for example, dictionaries, at the same time Excel sheets. So in Excel sheets also we are fetching for our data. So based on the rows and columns wise. So in that area also data is should be in the efficient manner. It is in arranging order or alphabetical order. Then only it is possible. Let me tell you this. For example, while you are using your word processor, word document, let me show you that you can clearly know. For example, so okay, sorry for the interruption due to network. Okay, so I'm going to share a word document. Okay, in this word document, we are having endo button, redo button. So you may have these two buttons. See that top left corner buttons. So for example, I'm typing Sir CRR College of Engineering, Eluru. So just I typed some sentences. Okay, some sentence. So here I'm having endo button, I'm having redo button. So what will happen after typing this? See, already I increased the letter size. So after pressing this button, automatically it will goes to the small size. That means the previous size, previous options. So after that, pressing this redo button, it will come like this. See how it is coming. Already word processor is placed in a efficient manner. That is why only we are using all those options, all these options. Otherwise, we may not use properly. Within a fraction of seconds, it is giving the output, right? So endo buttons and redo buttons are the one of the best examples of the data structures. So it is already placed in a efficient manner. That is why only we are using our data efficiently. So not only this, all these are arranged in a particular manner, efficient manner, the way stored on a computer. That will tells us the data structure. So I want to tell you the real world examples. That is why I'm choosing this example, right? Just for your better understanding only, just I opened this workbook. Okay, that is the definition of data structure. Next one, the data structure is divided into two categories majorly. The data structure is divided into two structures, two categories. So let me wait. Let me wait a second. Let me share my screen. Okay. So is my screen visible to everyone? Is my screen visible to everyone? Yes, good. Okay. Right. Okay. See this. So this is the classification of data structure. So data structure is classified into two categories. The first one is primitive data structures, and the second one is non-primitive data structures. These are the two types of data structures that we have. So first, let us discuss the type 1, that is primitive data structure. So first one is primitive data structure. So primitive data structures are already again classified into different types, that is called integer, real, character, and boolean. So okay, so first let us talk about primitive, and after that we'll go through the examples of those, and then we'll move on to the non-primitive. So first let's talk about primitive data structure. Primitive data structures are the fundamental data types which are supported by a programming language. For any programming language, these are the primitive data structures that will support. These are the integer, real, character, and boolean. The term data type is a basic data type, and primitive data type are used in this. So what is the use of the data type? If you want to store any variables, you need to declare the type of variable in the programming language. With the help of data structure only, if we want to store the values, we need variables in programming. So we need to specify which type of data we are storing with the help of the data type only. If it is a exact number, we'll use the integer data type. If it is a string type, we can use the character type. If it is a percentage or the point, decimal point values, we need to declare our data type as a float data type. Based on the type of data we are going to store, we'll declare the type of the data type. Here, there are different types of basic data type. Already you know in the C language, integer types and real numbers, character and boolean. Boolean data type. What is the use of boolean data type? Tell me. What is the boolean data type? What is the purpose of boolean data type? Text me. Anyone? Boolean data type. What is the help use of the boolean data type? Yes, it's like condition good. So what are the conditions there? Quickly, I'm expecting a reply from at least minimum 5 people. Yes. What are the conditions? Boolean conditions. What it will tell? Boolean condition. Yes, good. True or false. Right, right. True or false. That is correct. Okay. So greater than, less than, that is different. Whatever the formula, ultimately result is either the condition is true or false. That's it. That will clarify the Boolean operation. Boolean operation we is use it for whether the condition is true or false. That's enough. Remaining formulas are different. That is based on our requirement. But Boolean operation, Boolean data type, why we are using Boolean data type is whether the given condition, the given statement is true or not. That is the primitive data structures. Okay. Next, moving on to non-primitive data structures. Excuse me. Okay, the next category is non-primitive data structure. Non-primitive data structures are again classified into two types. So here it is the main concept of our subject. The entire subject is these two topics only. The entire data structure subject is linked up with these types only. So if you learn all these arrays, linked lists, stacks, queues, trees, and graphs, so everything you may learn in data structures. So this is the main concept. These all are the main concepts of data structures. These are the different types of data structures. So first we'll discuss the linear data structures, and then we'll move on to non-linear data structure. So arrays, linked lists are the units. Stack is one of the unit. Queue is one of the unit. Trees are one of the unit. Graphs are also one of the unit. Every single word is called as a unit in data structures. So unit by unit, we'll see the content. So first, let us see what is linear and what is non-linear data structures. Linear data structures, in linear data structure, there are four types here: arrays, linked lists, stacks, and queues. So let's see the definition of linear data structure. The elements that are arranged in a linear order. The elements that are arranged in a linear order. What is meant by linear? Ordered fashion. That means either in the ascending order or descending order. It should follow some order. The data elements that are arranged in linear order. So here every time I used to use a word elements. What are elements? Elements means nothing but our data. For example, if I want to store 10 students marks, so I'm considering it as the marks as elements. So by using the elements, for example, roll number 1 having 50 marks, roll number 2 having 55 marks. So those marks are called considered as elements. So I'll show you how it will look like by graphically also. Okay. So these four types: arrays, linked lists, stacks, and queues, all these follow the elements in linear order. All these will follow in linear order. So it's having some ordered fashion. So the data structures, all these are the examples of linear data structures. So if you talk about data structures, we are having two types of data structures. One is linear data structure and second one is non-linear data structure. So linear data structures will follow linear fashion. Non-linear means it does not follow any order. So for example, linear data structures are the vegetarians and non-linear data structures are the non-vegetarian. Just for the sake of simplicity. So in vegetarian food, we are having different types of items. All right, different types of items, vegetables like cucumber, brinjal, lady's finger. These are the different types of vegetarian veg food. Okay, so as because this is the lunch time, that is why I'm mentioning some vegetables names also. So okay, don't misunderstand me. So I'm not talking cooking sections here. So anyway, so non-linear data structures means vegetarian, for example. That means non-veg, non-veg. Okay, so you know more about non-veg rather than me. Okay, I don't want to tell you again. So okay, so these are the veg and non-veg, like here linear data structures and non-linear data structure. So non-linear data structures are trees and graphs. So these trees and graphs does not follow any order. So do you know amoeba in biology? Amoeba, biology in a schooling. So amoeba having any shape? Is it having any shape, amoeba? No, good. Okay. So here also trees and graphs having any order. They have not in they don't have any order. So without order also we can use our data. You may ask you one question, sir. You are telling that the data structure is storing data in efficient manner, but you are telling here it does not follow any order. With the help of, with respect to the rules of trees and graphs, we can store our data, right? So by the time I'll explain you why I mentioned that word non-linear. Okay. So now, yes. Thank you. Okay. So now, let us go to the discussion of arrays first. These are the two types of data structures. So are you clear about the classification of data structures? Are you clear? Classification. Okay. So next one. These are the different primitive data structures. We can perform some operations like creation, selection, updation, deletion. In non-primitive data structures also we can perform some different operations. That is called traversal, insertion, selection, searching, sorting, merging, delete. So traversing means visiting. Traversing means visiting. So I'll tell you later. Insertion means can push the elements into the memory. Selection, if you want to find out some particular element, if you want to find out some particular element, we need selection statement. Searching means ultimately you can by using the controller you are all searching always. Sorting means elements, arranging the elements in a ascending or descending order. Merging means just breaking and combining. Deletion already you know. Okay. So these are the operations on primitive and non-primitive data structures. Okay. Let's discuss about the concept called arrays. So arrays, I'll tell you better. I can use whiteboard so that you can clearly understand. So okay, we'll see the definition first. Arrays. Array already you know about arrays. You don't know about arrays? Do you know about arrays? Little bit. Okay. So arrays can be defined as an infinite collection of homogeneous data elements. Arrays are always stored in a contiguous memory location. So arrays can be stored multiple values which can be referenced by a single name. So he see here one word is we are reading contiguous memory location. What is contiguous memory location? What is continuous memory location? What is contiguous and what is continuous? Yes, collection of similar data types, right? Good. So what is contiguous and what is continuous? Arrays are not continuous but contiguous. Okay, so you remember that continuous here. Now this is not continuous, contiguous memory location. So contiguous means it's a block of locations. It consists of 4 bytes. As per the C compiler, it takes 4 bytes. I'll show you why I used that word. Okay. So anyway, so arrays we'll see. Arrays are different types: one-dimensional, two-dimensional, and multi-dimensional. That means three-dimensional. More than combination of more than two-dimensional is called multi-dimensional. One-dimensional is single. Two-dimensional means more than two one-dimensional arrays called two-dimensional. More than two one-dimensional called two-dimensional. At the same time, more than two-dimensional is called multi-dimensional. So on arrays, we can perform some specific operations. So traversing, already I told you, traversing means visiting, searching, insertion, deletion, sorting, and merging. So this is the one-dimensional array. The syntax of one-dimensional array is like this: data type, variable name, size. So this is the simple example. So better let me draw so that you can clearly understand. So I'm taking one array, just int numbers 3. equals to 10 comma 20 comma 12. Can I declare the array like this? Already you know about the concept of arrays. Is it okay? Yes, good. It's right. So you can declare an array like this. So here I am going to store integer type of numbers. Those are called 3. This is the single dimensional array. So already I declared 3 values here, 10, 20 and 111 are my 3 numbers I'm going to store. So see how it will look like. So first of all, after the declaration of, after the compiler reading this line, automatically in your computer system will allow the space like this. So after the program finishing, so simply it will break down into 3 locations. Okay. So first see here, the definition of, as per the definition of arrays, collection of similar data items into a contiguous memory locations. What is memory location here? In computer system, computer memory, everything is stored on the memory locations. So memory locations having some memory addresses, we don't know. It is logical. We cannot see. Physically, it is invisible. So everything is stored in a memory locations. First of all, the array consists of some indexes. So here we are having 3 types of indexes. Already you know the concept of arrays. That is why I'm going quickly. So here the first one is index 0. So anywhere I can write, this is the index 1. This is index 2. So always prefer 0. Otherwise, you can directly 1 to 3 onwards. That is also correct. That is not an issue here. So 0, 1 to 3. So total 3. Excuse me. Okay. So total 3 locations. So these are the index values. These are the index values. These are called index values. Index, that's it. These are called indexes. Indices, or you can say indices. Indices are indexes. Index. Whichever it is, right. Then here I'm going to store, suppose my memory having some 1004 location. This is 1004. This is 1008. Some this is 1012 location. So these are the memory locations. These are the memory locations. So now in that memory locations, value is going to be placed. This is 10. This is 20. This is 111. So here, these are the values. These are the 10, 20, and 111. These are called values or elements. These are called values or elements, right? So now we can differentiate the three names. This is the index positions, or we can say positions. This is the 0th location. This is the, in 0th location, the memory location is 1004. In the 1004 location, the value 10 is going to place. Whenever, if you apply any operation on this array, directly it will display the memory location. From that location, simply if you keep some your room keys in somewhere in your house, so after asking where you keep your keys, directly you can go to the track and open that keys, and you can use the, we can use and open the lock. So likewise here also, everything in memory is stored in memory. The values are stored. So why I use that word contiguous? So differentiation between continuous and contiguous is, if you store the values in continuous memory location, it will store the values 101010 like that. So number by number it will store. But contiguous is not like that. Arrays will store the elements in contiguous memory locations, not continuous, contiguous. Contiguous means what? Here the 0th index having 1004 locations, up to 4 bytes it is. It is up to 4 bytes. It is based on the compiler, it may vary. Based on the size of the compiler, the value may vary. So it will, for the integer number, it will occupy up to 4 bytes. So within the block of 4 bytes, 0th location will end up. So this is not continuous. This is contiguous memory location. After that 1004 location only, next provision will be there. That is for the value 20. Okay. So this is how the array elements are stored. For example, if you declare the size here 50, so already one drawback, that is, let me tell you this point. Arrays are static. Static means, once the size of the array is declared, it is fixed. It cannot be changed until the program finishes. So see here, we are having 3 values only. Likewise, you can store any number of elements, right? So this is how the arrays will function. For this elements, we can perform, if you want to search an element in this array, directly with some follow some procedure. With the help of that procedure, we can find out we can search the elements. This is the memory representation of an array of 3 elements. This is how array will store in memory. Memory. Yes, tell me. 557. You can post in the chat box. 557, raise your hand. Yes, can post the question in chat box. So, which concept you want? Which concept shall I repeat for you? Specify the topic. Total topic, it will take nearly half an hour. So which topic do you want? You can specify the topic. That is the memory representation or what? Okay. Once again, I'll repeat it. Okay, not an issue. So this is the memory representation of array of 3 elements. So the drawback of arrays are the arrays are static, and we cannot alter the size of the array. At the same time, the similar data items only we can store in arrays. So this is the declaration of array. So this is the program, the logic for this array. So I'm going to store 3 integer numbers. So I'm going to store, because all 3 are the integer numbers, I'm going to place into an array. So array having first of all indexes, at the same time memory locations. In that index position and the memory locations, the value are going to place it. So you see here, so 10 is my first element. I'm going to store, after that 20 and the triple one. So these are the elements. This is how the elements are stored in the arrays. So this is the structure for arrays. Okay, contiguous and continuous. So continuous means one by one it will goes, one by one it will store. But contiguous means it will allot a space for the, here see, 1004 is my first location up to 4. Immediately 1005 is not here. 1005 to 1008. This is the contiguous. 1082 and some. So these memory locations is my assumption. In system that is different. 1004 is why I'm using 1004. I don't know. System can't tell us. It is logical. It is not visible for us. So the memory locations look like that. So that is why I'm taking that. So different memory locations are there. Lot of memory locations are there. So continuous means side by side it will store. Contiguous means it will create a block up to 4 bytes here. So based on the compiler, it will vary again. Contiguous means block here up to 4 bytes. After that, again 4 bytes. After that, again 4 bytes. Same size, fixed size. That is the difference. Did you clear? Contiguous and continuous? Clear? Okay. So that is the thing. So this is how the array will look like. So the drawbacks of arrays are very simple for storing the first thing, the fundamental data structure is arrays only. So with the help of arrays, what we are doing here, we are storing the elements. Likewise, we are storing, we can store the marks of the student, attendance of the student, or anywhere. Already you executed different programs on arrays. Maybe some of them don't know why we executed programs. Maybe I'll wake you up. No, don't worry. So here also in this process, we can store student records, student marks, entire student marks also it is possible, but it is little bit difficult. Now your 99 members are there, so up to 99 students record also we can maintain by using the program of array. But it is little bit difficult. There are more sophisticated data structures are there. Okay, but this is the fundamental thing. This is how the arrays will look like. Next, already I have shown you the syntax also. In data type name, data type, a name of the array, size of the array. So size of the array means this is the rectangular, the square brackets are always represents arrays. Curly braces for initiating the values, right? So arrays having some drawbacks. What are the drawbacks? So I'm writing here the drawbacks. Just not enough space for me. So arrays are static. Once we declare the array size with respect to the size, it cannot be altered after. So if you declare the array size is 30, for example, so if you use only 10 elements, remaining memory locations wasted. That is the drawback. So with respect to the arrays concept, memory is wasted if you not use the variables values. So otherwise, here declared 3 values. If I want to change the size of the array, it is not possible with the help of arrays. See, arrays won't help us in that area. At the same time, data elements are stored in a contiguous memory locations, which may not be always available. That is another disadvantage. Another one, insertion and deletion of the elements can be problematic because of shifting of elements from their positions. If I want to delete the one element, so you need to shift the positions of the values positions we need to shift. That is the drawback of using arrays, but arrays concept is very simple to store the elements in the data structure. Okay, I hope this is clear to all of you, because the time is also over. So if you have any doubts, quickly ask me. I will clarify you for the today's session. Otherwise you can leave.